What's your name?
My name's Daren Bedford. Bass player, musician.
How old are you?
I am 59.
Cool. All right, go. We're here with JaxPunx.
Okay, JaxPunx. I'm Daren Bedford, a bass player, musician.
What bands do you play in?
Started out in a band called Swamp, kind of a real heavy, kind of Black Sabbath meets kind of Henry Rollins. That kind of I think that's what we were saying back then. Black
Cool.
Sabbath, Henry Rollins.
Awesome. All right. First question: why did you start listening to punk and hardcore?
Oh, that's a very good question. Tired of being abused, like sonically abused by the sounds of the radio. I felt like I was being drugged, maybe behind a vehicle with those sounds. They were very abusive sounds. So, yeah. Abuse, basically, I believe, yeah. Started from abuse.
Okay. All right. Second question: what was your first punk album that you bought or stole? Like, what about the venue? Did you go to 730 Club? Or did you go to Blighted or?
Yeah, we went to Blighted,
Did you go to Einstein?
Einstein's, yeah, and there was a lot of bands. I don't remember the names of the bands, but there was a lot of.
What was your favorite venue? Like, did you hang out most at Blighted? Did you go to Blighted?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never really hung out at the venues pretty much. I mean, I couldn't sit still long enough to be in one area for too long.
Yeah.
So, like the ocean was, maybe the ocean was probably my favorite place to be.
Okay.
And then just listening to the sounds.
What do you do like on a Friday or Saturday night?
We would go there and check out the bands and walk out to the boardwalk area and then just kind of meander around and smoke weed and drink beers and
Nice.
listen to the sounds and contemplate life and thinking there had to be something somewhere.
All right. So, what was one of the first punk bands that you played in? Did you, yeah, or what bands you played in? First band.
The first band was Swamp. We and I'm trying to remember. We had
Who was in the
different.
band?
Woody Rosenbeck
you were a rat on the west side, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we were. Yeah, that was a title that was, what do they call it, bandied about.
Banter.
We had a bunch of different iterations of uh, music. It was Brian Foyles, um, guitar player, James Mao, Jimmy Mao, vocalist, um, great uh, freeform musician. Uh, could play really anything, any instrument, and pretty amazing. And of course, I played bass, and we had numerous drummers. We were jamming with different people and just trying to kind of find our way, find a sound. And Woody Rosenbeck, he was, when we started to get the band Swamp, he was like a very important piece of the puzzle. High energy, just raw, good feel, creative, highly talented musician also. But
What did he play?
he could play anything. He was like a diamond in the rough. Like he could do anything. I mean that.
And what did you play?
I played bass. And Woody played drums, in the band, and James Mao was the vocalist, and Brian Foyles was a guitar player.
Did you guys record anything?
Yeah, we did do some recordings and played some shows at Milk Bar.
Did you put out a CD or anything?
Um,
Or the tape? Mixtape?
yeah, I think we did. I think Woody has some of those.
Cool.
And we did. We played Gainesville. We played with Rein Sanction. That was one of our double bills that we used to play together. Played it with a couple other bands. That was. I think we played with Beggarweeds a couple times.
Nice. So how many albums how many did you put a tape, or how many albums did you put out?
We never did put like an album together. We probably had about 15 or 20 or so songs.
Okay.
But it seemed like every time we were moving that direction, something would happen to where we couldn't do it.
Do you remember any of the names of the songs?
Let's see.
That's okay if you don't.
There were some cool names.
We can always list them.
Yeah.
List them below.
Yeah, I can come back to those.
Yeah. List them below.
Do a
All
little research.
right. And we can also get Woody on the horn.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
That's another person that needs to talk
Woody
and tell a story.
Woody would definitely know. He would definitely know.
And so, all right, cool. In fact, if Woody wants to come up here, and we can all three gap about
Oh
class,
yeah.
that would be fun.
That would probably be ideal because then it would
Yeah, refresh your memory.
refresh. Yeah.
That's why we're trying to do this, is to
Mhm.
get it,
Yeah.
our memory holes filled in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. All right. So do you remember where your first punk show was played, or the venues?
Gainesville. I think our first was Gainesville. Yeah. We played Gainesville.
What did you play in Jacksonville? Anything?
Hardback. I mean, the Gainesville was hardback, I think.
Okay.
And then Jacksonville was. We played. There were some venues at the beach in the old blighted area.
Okay.
I don't remember their names, but they were oceanfront venues.
you ever do like the armories or anything like that?
No.
Um, uh, what? Who were your friends that came out to your shows? Do you have any groupies or
Well,
regulars?
mainly Woody. Woody had a ton of friends, and he, I guess that's the Rats on the West Side. He would have Rats on the West Side. I remember that was
Who were your friends? Shout out your friends.
friends back then. Let's see. Let's see, who were the friends back there? Man, there were so many of them. Man,
Well, how big was the crowd?
the crowd. We were fortunate to have pretty large crowds, and I think it was probably because we were playing with bands that already were established, and we kind of jumped on the bill.
So it was like 100, 200, 300.
Yeah. It was the venue was pretty packed. I mean, we were fortunate to have packed venues, which was nice. We did have a couple that were, sparse as well.
Is there any shows that stand out to you?
Standout
Like
shows.
funny things happen at shows? Or not funny?
Well, I mean, one thing does kind of stand out. This guy got on stage and started doing like push-ups, and we thought that was kind of interesting, and then a janitor comes out with a toilet brush and sets it on his back while he's doing the push-ups.
Ew.
So we got a pretty good laugh out of that. That was pretty memorable.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
And what did the crowd do? Were they moshing or?
Oh, they were laughing and
Okay.
just loud sounds.
How much money did you guys make at shows?
Money really didn't come into play. There was more of
It's kind of a joke question.
more of a beer tab or a bottle of whiskey, something like that.
Yeah.
What they would give us.
Where did you find your clothes?
Clothes, thrift stores.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you make your clothes?
Yeah, some things we did.
You didn't buy them at Hot Topic?
Oh no. I don't think there was a Hot Topic back then. But we would dye things. We would get dye and dye things.
What about your first pair of combat boots?
Well, I had some Doc Martens back then.
Where did you get those?
Where did we get those? I think we either got them in Atlanta or New York, one of the two.
Cool. So you had to go out of town to get them.
Yeah. I remember playing basketball in Gainesville in them after a gig the next day, and they got such a big laugh out of it. They're like, "You gonna play basketball in that?" And I was like, "Sure." So we were playing basketball in those things, and doing pretty good.
Yeah, my first boots were Army boots from the Army Navy surplus. Because I couldn't get Doc Martens.
Oh yeah, those things were nice, good quality. I mean, it's real. There was some like Swiss-made ones I remember that were standouts. They're nice leather. I mean, just really sharp. I mean, like a designer made them. They were super sharp looking.
Like, where did you buy your music? Did you go to Wags or?
Yeah, we go to Wags. A lot of the music came from Tammy at Einstein's.
Yeah.
She would make mixtapes.
Theory Shop.
Yeah, she'd make mixtapes for. We were staying at Casa Marina there, and Jack's Beach, and there's a guy named Reggie there, and she would make tapes for Reggie, and then we'd hear the tapes. Like Reggie was playing, like, man, that's cool. Who is that? And I was like, oh, that's blah blah blah. So that's really how we really kind of discovered a lot of the music, is through, I guess, through her, her mixtapes, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that I think of it, yeah.
And what about, like, how do you promote your show?
Let's see. Oh, we did flyers.
Yeah?
And,
Who made the flyers?
we would make them and
And where would you put them?
post them all around Riverside. Woody was really good with that. He would like put them everywhere. He'd cool spots and yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
it promo. What,
So-
so, let's see,
Yeah, it was fun.
share a memory of or a story of a punk friend that's crossed over. Got any shout outs to people that are already gone?
I remember Ray, Stevie Stiletto. I remember Ray, I think I was, I think maybe in 1980 or 81, I saw him playing at a party, like a backyard party. He was singing, and that was before I started playing music, and I did think to go up and compliment him. Say that was great, man. I really liked it. That was like 80, 81. So.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What about now? What about now? Like, do you go to any venues now, punk venues now? Or did you
Let's-
play in any other bands?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm.
Let's talk about your next band, the other band you played in, and who was in it.
The next band was Rein Sanction. I played bass with those guys,
Okay.
and I'm still jamming with those guys and playing. I recently went to Nashville and we started recording some stuff, and I'm supposed to go back there and finish up what we did.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
What recording studio?
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. I mean, wrapping that up, so I'm gonna try to get there probably next couple months. If things work out, I'll be up there with those guys, and
Nice.
yeah.
How many songs you guys got together now?
Well, the songs are kind of like turning on a tap. They just, when you turn it on, they start coming out. So,
So it's like jam band?
yeah, it's just jam, and then, I mean, there's jam. We do have jams, but then sometimes, I guess, sometimes the jams will evolve into they'll kind of create their own identity.
Yeah.
And we've had like a magical kind of thing where we get together and it just kind of starts to
Come together.
take on it just comes together. That's fortunate. I had that happen with a couple of different musicians, and it's a treat when that happens, because you're not, like banging your head trying to figure out, having riffs and trying to combine riffs and trying to combine ideas. It's more, it just kind of just flows like water. It kind of fills in everything, and then you kind of, are amazed by it. You maybe do some tweaks here, maybe tweak the vocals, or, you make the vocals fit the the way the music twist and turn. You kind of just do some tweaks, and that's the favorite. That's ended up being my favorite because it's more inspired. It's not what's the word, thought out, or it's not
It's like a flow state.
it's not like a human cognitive thing. It's more of the other, being more
Embodied emotion.
you're just more open, and then it just kind of comes through. You're more like
Channel.
a channel versus like creator. It just kind of flows through, and then you can tweak and stuff. But the majority, that's the best for. I mean, I've really enjoyed that part of it, because it's like you never know what you're gonna get. It's like finding something really cool, and like, wow, it's one of the few joys left.
Yeah, that's like abstract art.
Like what?
It's like abstract art.
Oh yeah. Same thing.
Where you're just embodying the emotion and having the canvas be the safe space for what happens.
And happy accidents.
Right.
Accidentally doing something that turns into something else. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, that's the space I want to be in. As far as creating. Not a manufactured. I've got an idea, and just beat this idea to death. I never cared for that, but yeah, that's the accidental, the serendipitous. With Mark, after he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, before he broke his leg, that's right. But he did come to my house. That was like kind of a rehab. We'd play acoustics. I'd go pick him up, and we'd go to my apartment, and we'd play acoustics, and then I'd take him back. And he was living at his mom's place. And so we were playing acoustics, and we jammed a lot together, because the swamp thing, it just kind of slowly faded out, so there wasn't really anything to do. So we get together and jam, and so we did a lot of jamming together, a lot of acoustic stuff, and we were coming up with a lot of material. We
cool.
actually came up with the Mariposa album at my apartment over there. Mark told me that the stuff that we wrote was used for the Mariposa album.
Nice.
And it was. Then we noticed we had a chemistry there too, where we had a good flow together, musically. So it's hard to find not really hard.
It's hard to find collaborators.
And the ones that you're flowing with, without saying anything. It just, you naturally are moving places together, instinctively, instead of we're going to do this, and this. You're just naturally kind of doing things, and that's magical. But we definitely had that going on. So
More magical, less mechanical.
No, just, and then that parlayed into me later playing with those guys out on bass.
And so now you're working on the next album.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We did a. They called it a blue album. We did some tracks that we were supposed to have a deal with Island. I think it was Island one of those that they wanted to do a U.S. and a European combination, some kind of signing where they wanted to Europe in, but that fell through. So so that was, we were geared up for, like, that was going to be a major label. So we never did get, so we were still independent. We never did go to the major, but that would have taken us from Sub Pop over to the major.
Well, listen, if you need a place to record locally, you could come over and have Rob record you and then send that up to those guys. If that's more convenient, I don't know. It's up to you.
Okay.
As an option.
It's always nice to have, some recording venues to be able to put down some tracks, some.
Because we built a recording studio at my house, or our house.
Nice.
In like a one-car garage, basically. And he sound engineered it. And pretty badass, actually.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I can't.
And that's what this is, Rad Cat. So I'm doing. This is like the label. I did this artwork, and this is kind of like my surf skate punk label. So we're pushing.
Oh, you're doing a label.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
It's like Rad Cat Studios. I don't know. It's just something like a label.
No, it's
on our
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, shoot, you never know. You get a band on there, and then things hot, and it's another, popular
I don't know.
launching.
I mean, whatever. I don't. We're just doing it because we have the passion. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
make our money the way we make our money, and music is the passion.
No, that's
And we're
ideal.
just
I
trying to
mean,
facilitate. and promote.
that's where you want to be ideally if you can get in that place. Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna stop, or unless you got another story.
I'm trying to remember. I do have stories. I'm just trying to remember. We had a good turnout at Viper Room. We opened up for Gun Club there at Viper Room. That was a good show. And I wasn't familiar with Gun Club, and the singer was comical because when he came out with a sword, and and he had this outfit on like Captain Kangaroo. He was doing like opera stuff, and I was like, whoa! I went, because they were like, this band is big punk influence on Chili Peppers, and it was, the big. A lot of people were, saying how influential they were for them, and then to hear the sounds, it was pretty comical, but it was great though. I mean, the last thing I expected is him to come out with a sword and then with this Captain Kangaroo garb on, and a sword, and then this operatic vocal.
Yeah,
So,
pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, it was great. Yeah, we had a great show there. Totally packed out. Johnny Depp and those guys were there, and yeah, it was cool. And all the celebrity types, and it was good to have a good show in there. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we didn't want to drop the ball at that point, or have a weird,
Yeah,
So yeah, we were fortunate there.
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What elementary school did you go to?
I went to Ruth and Upson,
Yeah.
right there across from Murray Hill Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
What Lake Shore, or where'd you go from there?
From there, went to Mary McLeod Bethune. It was a 6th grade center.
Okay.
I think that was off Moncrief.
All right.
And then from there, we went to John Gorey.
Okay.
And then from John Gorey to Lee High School.
Who was the vice principal at John Gorey? remember?
Man, it's that's a good question.
Was it Dean Roberts?
Dean Roberts. Oh yes, 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 yes. Now who?
That's my dad.
Oh, it was. Oh, he was great. He put the fear of God in everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to get paddled by him.
No, I fortunately I didn't. I knew to stay on the straight and narrow. Yeah, yeah. He was a big guy. Yeah, he was an authority figure for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
He was a military cop.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think if I remember, he was kind of comedic.
Yeah, he would be funny.
He talked about deodorant. I remember one time. He said, "Hey, you know, you got to start wearing deodorant, guys." And I remember that was a stand. You got to start wearing deodorant. Because yeah, there was when you get up to them guys in those rooms, man, the smells are. I mean, just I mean, some horrific smells there with all the young kids in a
What are you
room,
telling
sweaty,
me? And I
and
still go to hardcore shows.
I mean, just ooh, fruit smells, banana smells, all kind of craziness.
He told me a funny story one time about how the cops would come in and bring the canines to smell the lockers, and then the dogs started going apeshit over this one locker. And then they're like, "Who owns this locker?" And they go and find out, and there's this little tiny petite Asian girl, and you know, like she doesn't fit the profile of like a drug dealer, right?
Mm.
And so they're like, "Open this locker," and she like opens it up, and it's floor to ceiling Girl Scout cookies. So they're like, okay. The dogs went crazy over Girl Scout cookies. So then my question is like, all right, did they
funny.
just like did they just like cookies, or was there weed in the cookies? And that's why they're addictive.
I don't think that dog sniffing stuff really works anyway. I think they just use it as a ploy. Yeah, we got a scent over here, just an excuse to go through the stuff. I don't even think it works.
Right.
You know?
Probably.
Yeah. The dogs are just doing what they do. Yeah, we want some cookies.
Exactly.
Yeah. We bought into the science fiction approach, I guess, back then. Yeah. But yeah, those were the days for sure.
What about did you skate? I know you were a surfer.
Yeah, we did surfing, skating.
Did you go to Kona? Or you got any
No, I
stories?
never did go to Kona. We were doing like street skating. We did some like half pipe stuff, but we never really got, involved in some of the crazy stuff that they were getting into. I mean, I remember just being amazed seeing those guys. Buck Smith, I remember just being blown away. Like, God, he's like a cat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just flying up and doing all this crazy stuff. It's like, what in the world? I mean, it was, yeah. I remember.
He still does it.
Still, I haven't seen him in years, but I remember just being blown away by it. It's like, God. I mean, and even the guys surfing that were killing it out there. I mean, there were so many talented people in Jacksonville, like skating, surfing, everything. I mean, it's like crazy. I mean, it was whoa. I mean, yeah, just like wow. I mean, just when you think you're getting good at something, and then you realize that you're not really. You're behind the curve there, buddy. Yeah.
Who else do you remember from back in the day? So, who are the other rats on the west side?
You know, I didn't. Rats on the West Side. I was introduced to them through Woody back then, but then I don't really remember like.
Okay, who are your best buddies?
Wingman.
Wingman.
Like Tom Hager, John Hager.
Yeah, what are they doing?
John has a construction company, and he does construction around town. It's like the big sewer, big city projects, and I think he did the that horse thing out there in off I-10, that big horse where they put it. There's
yeah,
an
yeah,
Olympic
yeah.
pool out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Aquarium.
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, that's it. He did that, and he did the one at the beach. There's one right where JTB is, a big park there.
Oh, did you hear we're getting a wave pool? Like a surfing wave pool?
No, I didn't.
Somewhere between
that's-
Town Center and the beach.
That's gonna be amazing.
And it's going to be a wave pool and a skate park.
Oh, I'm so glad they have that for the kids. I mean,
I know.
that's so great.
That's going to
I mean,
make
yeah.
it safer for the kids.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, and they can excel quicker. You know, I mean, having those facilities. So yeah, they can get through whatever they need to get through. If it's a phase, it's run right through the phase, or if it's something that's gonna
Right.
shoot them off to the next,
Right.
thing. It's bam, bam, bam.
Definitely.
It's going. So yeah, I'm like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, Tom. I was doing photography with him. We were doing wedding photography and doing shooting like clothing for some places in San Marco that had shops, and we would get their clothing, get the models, and take them to the beach and
Yeah.
shoot them the clothes, and I mean, just
Yeah, I wish I
cool
would have
stuff. Yeah,
participated in his tricycle series.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was too shy.
Yeah, yeah, and then then he did do some what do they call those? I think he was with Paul Carabinus, and they were doing at UNF doing some themes. They had themes, and he would take a theme and try to implement it.
Yeah.
So, but I think I was playing music while the thematic stuff was going on there. I was playing music at that time, so we kind of
Yeah.
split apart there, and then we came back for like weddings and events, and so
I know what I want to ask you. I want to ask you about the body shop modeling gig.
yeah, we did that. We did that through some models that we were using for the
you
clothing.
were the model.
I know. I ended up being one, but we were initially using models, and then the models that we were with, we were at Sliders, I think, at the beach, and the owners came to the model. There's blonde hair, curly blonde hair, girl, real tan, real standout, and they asked her if she would be interested, and she said, "Oh yeah." And then I was just there, and I said, I had long hair at the time. They said, "Would you be in?" I said, "Sure, yeah." So that was the beginning of it. I went with her, and then we did a shoot, and then it just kind of progressed from there, and just
Do you still have those photos? Or is Tom
yeah,
did those?
yeah. My mom saved them. She saved them. She loved them.
But Tom took those or
No.
Oh. Body shop did it.
Body shop. They had their own
Okay.
photographer. Yeah.
So your mom kept them.
Yeah, my mom loved it because they had these big posters
I
made.
know. I
and
remember seeing them.
Yeah, and
I wasn't so
my
big
mom loved it. She said, "Give me them posters." She loved it, man. So I gave her those. But yeah, that was pretty fun. That was
So you have them now.
yeah. They have a storage unit. I think my brother was telling me that they're in there somewhere. So he said that he saw them there. So I would like to see them. Go back down memory lane.
So
Let's see what they-
seriously, so this is what we need. This is what I need from you in the next week or however, whenever you can pull it together.
Body shop posters.
Well, I mean, I would like that personally, but I'm talking about like flyers from your bands, like music related. I mean, that is part of your history, so yes. But that's just me being greedy. But anyways,
Yeah.
your music, flyers, any kind of like photos, any kind of like for your page, basically.
Yeah, I
That
think
you
we.
could
I think we.
gather.
Yeah, I could. I could get with
And
Woody
you don't
and.
have to give me the originals. You just take a photo of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think we could do. I think there are some. Yeah, and
And then-
especially Woody. I know Woody. I just talked to him
And I would love you.
last week, and he was actually mentioning some stuff from that time frame. So I know he has
So if
memorabilia
you
from
could talk to
there.
him and say that you just did this with Brenda,
I will.
and that Brenda wants to do it with him as well.
And he'll
to
text me
interview.
the photos. Yeah, no
And
problem.
we can get all our old school crew to tell their stories.
Oh, and Woody
have
would
his
be better than
collection.
me on it because he's, I mean, he is you know, Woody was like Jackass before Jackass was a
Yes.
thing. I mean, Woody was like doing stuff way beyond Jackass that, I mean, Woody, I mean, that guy, I mean, he was like so ahead of his time. I mean, the comedy that he was coming up with and just the creativity, his music creativity. I mean, he was like he was just hitting on all cylinders. So, yeah, and it was contagious when you start hanging out with him, and things would start to roll and
Start to pop
parlay,
off.
yeah, pop off, and then you'd start coming up with funny stuff, just just
Feeding off of each other.
feeding on, yeah, exactly. And
Who else was in the crew? Name some other names.
well, I know me, Woody, and Craig Fales, another one. Let's see, Mike Seals. I think Wags. Wags.
He said he would do an interview too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Wags is very funny.
All right, so
I
let's
don't know
make
if
your
you know how
list of
funny he
people that
is.
you want to tag.
Uh,
Like you're gonna tag your friends to be next.
Let's see. There was some funny guys, man, and it was fun. I mean, it was the only really joy around. Really, there was nothing really. I mean, that was we were
Make our own
creating
fun.
our own
Yeah.
own comedy scenes and creating every. I mean, it had its base. It's influences of Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and all that, but it was real comedy. It wasn't like cheesy, crazy stuff. I mean, it was just real rootsy. So yeah, it was very very fortunate to be in that environment at that
In the
time.
moment.
Very fortunate, rich environment as far as comedy and everything, philosophy and just people's take on life and just the whole nine. People. Yeah, I'm sure it's the same way now in different circles. Just different cliques. That kind of stuff goes on. It has to.
So one of my best friends is Ember. Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
So and then Jules, she says hello.
Yeah, I remember them. They're amazing.